Hi there, everyone. How are you doing? I'm pineconesushi, and today I will be doing the rest of my orchid repot, I guess you could say, series. Um, I started this with making a orchid pot out of a reusable cup that I got from, I think it was Magic Noodle. It was one of their juice cups, and I had let you guys know you guys can use anything, any kind of cup for that plastic cup. You did have to do some soldering, so I did. I hope you guys do ask an adult to help you. You can also use scissors or a sharp blade to do that, but again, you need an adult to help you. I previous episode, the one before this one, I had cleaned off the roots. So now I'm just gonna actually repot my orchid plants. So unfortunately, this guy fell off while I was setting up everything. So that is incredibly unfortunate. It will happen because I did let some of um, the orchids dry out a little bit, or at least I let the roots dry out because they were in terrible medium. So anyways, let's just get started. I'm just going to put this guy on the side. Alright, so what I'm going to be using today is I'm going to be using, this is my workspace that I'm going to be using today, and I'm going to be using some of this. Obviously this is like, what is this? What does this look like? So I'm just going to open this right here. So I did have some orchid mix. Sorry, it's focusing on the wrong item here. I did have some orchid mix that I had purchased a while ago, and I just want to show you the medium. Any of these, basically it's like bark, it's some loose soil, some perlite, and I believe this is the mix that they used for like the orchid mix and the pro mix brand. Okay, so that's what this is. I am running out, so hopefully I have enough. I do have some extra medium that could go in the pots, but I hope this is enough because it's hardly filling this little container here. You can see there are charcoal bits in here. I love using charcoal in my orchid mixes only because it helps with bacteria and fungus and stuff like that. So and it helps keep the soil clean, so that's why I like using that. And these are just bark. I do have extra bark elsewhere, but I'll pull that out whenever I need them. Okay, and same with the charcoal mix. Yeah, this looks like it's more like it's soil, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, next is, I know I took the orchids out of moss, but I want to put it in some fresh moss. Okay, so I'm gonna just break this up just a little bit. And these are just like little bits of moss. It's dehydrated. Okay, I will not rehydrate these. Sorry, it's just focusing on the wrong thing. There we go. I will not rehydrate these just because I don't feel like I need to, at least not yet. Okay, but I will be using them. So I will be using this little bin. As you can see, it's already dirty because this is just what I use for my plants whenever I'm repotting. And this here is a bag of bark, and I believe this is fir bark, like fir as an FIR. Okay, and I like using this as well because they're actually like a good size for orchids. Okay, so I have big chunks, little chunks, and moss. So let's just get started with this. I'm gonna do the healthy one first, I guess. There we go. So this is the orchid pot that I have chosen. I made this one. There's a little bit of moss in there. I made this one out of a soup container, and I basically use a soldering device to make these holes. Okay, basically you want holes in your orchid pot so that the roots do not suffocate in the medium, because orchids are essentially air plants, so they love air. Okay, they don't really like sitting in moisture. Okay, so that's why like or at least me, I water my orchids at least once a week, and I do it in kind of like stages. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this started here. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle like a little bit of the moss on the bottom here, and this is just so that, the reason why I do that for me, this is what I do. You don't have to do this, but I do this because sometimes when water gets through here, because I don't water my plants for at least, or my orchids for at least a week, I want it to retain some moisture so the moisture can at least wick up later. Okay, so I got that. I'm gonna start sprinkle some of this in here, and I'm gonna sprinkle some more of that in there as well. Okay, so I got that chunky medium. I'll get some of my other chunky medium. Just gonna sprinkle it in there. Okay, and then along with that, just gonna give it a little bit of a toss, kind of like a salad. Okay, there's hardly anything in here, guys. This is not a lot. Okay, but I just want to make sure the bottom is well moisturized for later. Okay, your orchids are going to thank you later, but this is just essentially, this is just what I do. Okay, so I just do that. Then I'm going to take my orchid here. Okay, this is an orchid ball, and then I'm just going to put that in there. This is incredibly hard to do. Okay, so you can see that this orchid fits in here perfectly. Okay, now I'm gonna make it a little lower as I can. Okay, so this is as low as it's gonna go, which is fine. Okay, and then now I'm going to start filling it with my orchid medium. Okay, you can see there's a lot of space in here and here because I hardly put anything in there earlier. So the reason why I'm doing this is because with orchid mix is pretty loose. Okay, just right there. I'm going to just pour out some of my other mix so it's a little easier to gather. Okay. Just going to do this slowly, guys. Okay, and then I'm also going to put a little bit of moss in here as well. And again, guys, this is just because I don't want my roots to dry out completely. I do want them to stay moisturized for a long period of time. But I also don't want it to be suffocated by the moss as well. So I'm just putting like small chunks inside here. Okay. There we go, like that. That should be enough. I'm gonna keep putting this in here. Okay. So we want to use our fingers. It's really hard to show you guys. You want to use your fingers or a stick to kind of make sure that your medium, your new medium that you're putting in, kind of gets into the cage of the roots. Okay, so I'm going to start putting in some more medium in there. There we go. There's like a big chunky piece in here. Okay. I'm going to continue doing that. So I want to lift up some of these leaves here because I want to make sure the medium is getting under the leaves as well. Okay, so I'm gonna give there we go. So it kind of looks like I have a layer of moss right there, and that is by design, guys. So now I'm going to sprinkle in more of this. So now you can see it's kind of more like dust. I guess I have to buy some more medium. Okay. Also, guys, I want to just make sure you know you don't have to cover every single root. Orchids are supposed to have air roots. Okay, guys? Do not cover up your air roots, because those roots are to help get additional moisture to your orchid. They're supposed to get additional moisture to your orchids, so instead of drawing from the medium, it is drawing from the air. Okay, there we go. There we are. And that's it. Congratulations, guys. We have repotted our orchid. Okay. After this, off camera, I am going to give this orchid a dunking in water so that I make sure all of the moss has bloomed. Okay. There we go. That's it. It doesn't look like I have enough to do my second orchid, but we'll see. I only have like this much left. Okay. There we go. Thank you everyone for joining me today. I do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed gardening with me. Take care and have a great day, guys. Bye.